On today's show, I'm bringing back a returning guest. He was on my show back around the first week of October. We're talking about Optec International, Inc. They trade on the OTC markets under the ticker symbol OPTI. And with us today, we're very fortunate and lucky to have him as the CEO of the company, Mr. Roger Pawson. Roger, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me back, Everett. My pleasure.
You know, you were back on the show back in October the 6th, if I call the date correct. And at that time, you guys released some incredible earnings. My follow-up question to that is, does the company plan to file the Q1 statement on time before November the 15th? And everything's still on track? Everything's still looking good over there, yes?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. We're actually continuing our expansion, which we'll be talking about in the very near future via public dissemination press releases. So, yeah.
I've been getting a lot of email from the first interview that we had, and they said if you get a chance and he comes back on the show, ask him when is the company plan on returning to fully reporting status on the OTC markets. Can you bring us on an update on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you know, we've been off the fully reporting status and alternative reporting for over a year now. So we've been in discussion with our former Sarbanes-Oxley accountants and some alternative accountants. So after this filing, it's our intent to start ramping up the audit process to try and bring this company back. I'd like to try and have it back before the end of the year. Realistically, it's probably going to be Q3 in our fiscal calendar, but Q1 in the normal environment.
Right.
Yeah, so our goal is absolutely to come back as soon as possible.
Before I get to my next question, I just want to know, you know, I think you said in our first interview, October 6th, you guys did about around $6 million in revenue. Is that correct?
Yes.
How did we get there?
We expanded the growth of the company via PPE products, and we actually became involved in the wholesale environment of that. And I think most of the USA is aware of now, particularly with the increasing spike in the COVID numbers, the face mask opportunities have escalated significantly. There is huge demand, particularly for 3M products, the N95 1860 series masks,
right,
which are the premier masks. So we've been actively involved in wholesaling large quantities of those and continue to do so. Had a significant impact on our revenues. We anticipate that will continue through the rest of the year and into next year too.
Roger, the reason why I asked you that question, to actually ask you this question, on October the 8th, you guys put out a press release putting scanners and sterilizers into the classrooms in San Diego. My question to you is that going to be a one and done? Are you looking to gain more market share here?
We're actually in discussions with several large school districts across the country. Some local, yeah, and actually, I believe today's Wednesday, Thursday, we're actually placing some test units for final approval in one of the largest school districts in Southern California that has over 70 schools within that one district. Their particular interest is in the scanners and in the rovers for classroom sterilization. But yes, it's expanding, and what I can say is on the East Coast, even larger school district, my staff are actually leaving the first week in November for second phase demonstrations of the scanners so they can safely reopen schools. Most of those schools are still currently shut down, and they've been avidly looking for ways to safely reopen, as we proved with the local school districts here.
Roger, my thought process here is, are you guys selling these products straight out, or are you leasing them?
Okay, we've been selling the products directly. We did get an inquiry yesterday from a large private school organization that asked if they were to acquire the products, if we would be able to offer a leasing program. We've been working with several financial institutions that have expressed an interest in doing that. So it looks like we are going to be able to put together a leasing program for some of the larger purchases, yes.
Do you have a professional valuation on your UVC LED and the thermal temperature scanner technology patents that you received earlier this year?
Here's what we did. So the answer to the question is we submitted that to a professional patent company that provide valuations for that. It's about a 6-week process. We don't have those numbers back yet. I conservatively added $2.5 million each into the estimated valuation of those patents when we released the interim financials, but we did not include that $5 million total actually in the financials. It was informational. So we're hoping that by the time our quarterly report is completed, we do have a better valuation of those to include in the report. Like I said, the dollar value was not included in the financials we published last month.
October the 19th, you put out a press release. You went out and you went and found yourself the best of class, a breed, if you will, for the OTC markets. You hired an IR firm out in New York, Andrew Barwicki. How did that come about, and are you pretty excited about it?
It was actually a referral from a longtime associate of mine, and we talked to Andrew, did the due diligence, very credible, been in business for, I think, since 2006. His references were outstanding. He showed an interest in the company, and we decided to give it a try. And so far, the results have been amazing. We've had great response from shareholders saying they really like the change. So we're very happy. Yes, Everett, we're happy.
Roger, first of all, I want to thank you for coming back on the show. Before I let you go, what is it that you want my listeners and your stockholders to take away from today's interview?
I would like them to just continue their support to the company. Any questions addressed to Andrew, he's very responsive. We're just in a continued growth mode, and we'd just like our investors and shareholders to know that we're dedicated to this sector, and we will have lots more news forthcoming about the company and its growth.
As for my listeners, if you're looking for getting on the ground floor of a great technology consumer play, look no further than Optec International Inc. They trade on the OTC markets. This is my personal opinion. One of the fastest growing OTC companies out there, very undervalued at 3 cents a share. You can find them on the OTC markets under the ticker symbol OPTI. Roger, I want to thank you for coming back on the show. Hopefully you'll come back on in 30 or 40 days and give us an update or any news that you feel that's powerful enough to come back on the show and share it with my viewing audience.
Well, thank you, Everett. Pleasure is all mine, and I appreciate the opportunity. And everyone, please stay safe.
This program is entirely sponsored and produced by La Jolla Media, LLC, which is responsible for the content. The opinions and information provided on this program are for educational and research purposes. Stock Day encourages all listeners of this program to do their due diligence and research when determining investment strategies that will work for them, or to seek the assistance of an investment professional.